first one always has an error.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't know. This was a decent week. I don't know how people be hating, but it's the internet.
but that's why we're gonna start it from the top to the bottom. As always, thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna be breaking down NFL Week 14, starting from Thursday to Monday. I had to shake things up a little this week. Y'all may have missed us. Not our fault. But as always, like and subscribe, comment along. I'm Paul Pickle Winham, and I'm joined with.
You already know, man. It's that boy Kev Waterboy boy coming to you from the new 4K HD camera. You feel
Yeah, that
me?
boy that look clean,
With the
crisp.
with the with the new headphones, so I can make sure y'all can hear me on the audio. But Paul's gonna say it's not our fault. I'm gonna take full blame for us not recorded a preview because I got high. I woke up Sunday morning. I was like, "Yo, Paul, we didn't even record the preview," and then he was like, "Huh, ain't that a bitch?"
And I
But
remember I remember waking up on that Sunday with a potential of maybe recording if I were to not have gone so drunk on the live with Romeo the day before because there was bro, I went into work shit like bro, this first hour is gonna be spinning.
I'm not even tripping 'cause I definitely couldn't have guessed. I mean, this was a week where a lot of favorites won, and we were talking about it before the stream started about how some folks felt like it was a lackluster card. But I don't know. A lot of these games were close. Even the Monday night game, the motherfucking Cowboys cowboyed their way to a loss.
But that shit was so bad. Former Gaither Cowboy, now Dallas Cowboy, the one who made the mistake, Amani.
Really?
Yeah, he was the one that muffed they blocked the punt to begin with,
And
and then
he's the one that didn't get it.
and he's the one that like tries to get it off the bounce, and that bitch went the other way. Ugh.
Hey, I didn't even know my dog played for the Cowboys. Oh, that's crazy.
They
Small
just
world.
the commentator team when he made the mistake and they're showing it, they said that like he just got picked up off some practice squad like that week or whatever.
Dang, that's crazy. Small world.
No, yeah, I mean it's still a decent week. I made my money. That's I know for sure that was a good feeling. There, I started off a little low in funds because the Falcons. I had teased the Falcons on all my parlays, and for the whole game, I'm sitting there like, yeah, this is a close game. As long as they don't lose by 13, I'm straight. I had another parlay. It's like as long as they don't lose by 19, we straight. And I'm like, bro, you know, that shit really ruined my by 3:30. I was having to put more. Damn, I gotta bet more because I gotta go win back all this money the Falcons fucking sold me.
You talking about you? Oh, that was 21-21. I'm thinking like, yo, bro, we figured 21-28. I'm thinking like, yo, don't make mistakes. We're Gucci. We had a decent first half. Kirk, you got 300 something yards. Like, we got this. Nope. Defense left. Kirk out the door. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, no, that shit really set me off. That was the we can start there because that's one of the 1 o'clock games
Now
or
we got to start Thursday.
I prefer yeah, we actually go way back. Yeah, Thursday night where the Lions did the beat the Packers 34-31. What was a very very close game throughout, and it took some fucking big nuts from fucking Dan Campbell in the end of the game to decide to go for it on fourth down once again, and then to close out the game and set up the game winning field goal.
Yeah, that game was fucking insane. I thought the Falcons versus the Bucks Thursday night game was going to be the best game to like for best game, ride it out. Even though we've had some really good primetime games this year, but now this game was the best thing I've seen. This was some good ass fucking football. I think when the Packers started off making mistakes, Jared Goff comes down, touchdown. They Packers immediately Christian Washington fumbled. In the words of this one commentator I heard on YouTube, he called Christian Watson a doofus. But like this game immediately, that just told you that set the tone for the game. There was going to be a lot of shit happening in this game, and the Giants, not the Giants, the Lions, going for it on 4th and 1 in field goal range to run out the fucking clock is probably the craziest shit I've ever seen.
That and to pair it with his going for it on fourth down on like his own 28 or 30, wherever the fuck they were, that set up an easy touchdown for the Packers. It was like, this is why you love him. This is why you love Dan Campbell and the Lions.
He has no fears.
Cam Newton said that he at least appreciates Dan Campbell's consistency. Doesn't matter if
Ah,
it's on your 30 or their 30, you're gonna go for it.
Nah, that shit is fire. And shout out the Lions for winning with fucking people that with just a ragtag bunch of misfits on defense right now. This is not the team they had at training camp. This is not the team that they had going into OTAs. This is not the team that they had in the preseason. But they're still getting dubs, and they just made the franchise record for most wins in a row.
And Josh Jacobs, I know like the offense did all they could do. Josh Jacobs put up 3 touchdowns. It set up a lot of people in fantasy for like a good. This was the last week for playoffs, and a lot of people think so. Like people see that Josh Jacobs going into playoffs, and like, yeah, I needed that.
Mhm. But yeah, we don't talk about fantasy. I went from number one in my conference to 4 games in a four L's in a row, and I think I lost 5 of my last 6. So
I
like,
what did I say in my chat? Because I was 2-6 after week 8. Went 5-1 to end off the season to go 7-7 and to sneak in the very last spot in the playoffs. And and like this week, you know who was my fucking? I had Josh Allen. Like I can thank you, Josh Allen. If it wasn't for Josh Allen, I would not be in the play. Him and Zach Charbonnet, who I picked up the day before because I knew Walker was going to be out. Because it was Nick Chubb was my other starting running back. So it was Nick Chubb and Charbonnet, and Josh Allen was like the top 3, but they took care of the business.
bro, imagine if you win the Super Bowl, you could tell people like, yeah, I made it in the playoffs because Josh Allen broke the fantasy record for quarterbacks. Like that's insane.
Yeah, knocked. Like, Sam was the person in front of me, and he lost. He was going up against, I think, against Jamar Chase, and I was like, "Oh, thank you, like fantasy gods, he blessed me."
Oh, we're not even gonna talk about that because I watched the Monday game on the Simpsons cast. That shit was fun.
I'm saying I saw Bart throwing it to Ralph for a TD. I mean,
Right, you see Lisa turn on the Jets on the voice.
what cut up on it? Yeah, no, that shit was lit. But back to this game, yeah, Lions showing that even in adversity on like injuries, you know the other team's probably gonna put up at least 28 on that defense because they're hurt. And Jared Goff, Montgomery, Gibbs, they're all well-oiled machines. Like I think Gibbs is the number 5 fantasy running back. Montgomery's like the number 10 or something, number 9, and Amon St. Brown's the number 3 wide receiver. Laporta's like the number 3 or 4 tight end, and then Jared Goff's like top 10 in the quarterback. Even though he's not a mobile quarterback, so you got to give him a little bit more of a nod. Like, hey, mobile quarterbacks dominating fantasy. So for you to be a pocket passer and still be in the top whatever is solid. So it's just like the whole Lions team is just cooking.
Yeah, and I have Gibbs and Sam Laporta on my own fantasy team, and week in and week out, I watched their talent just be wasted on my team.
Shit, they got a next moving on from this game, we're going to do another one, but next week the Lions got the Bills on deck, and that's gonna be the fucking game.
And the Bills off of L.
Yeah. And the Lions on a good rest. But starting off the 1 o'clock games, Kev, it is the Vikings 42, Falcons 21. It was like we said to start, it was 21-21. And then 28-21 and going in the fourth quarter with Jordan Addison, who another guy, Jordan Addison, dropped like 30 something points this week. Sam Darnold broke, I think, the Vikings record for the 5 touchdown passes in a game. Um, Justin Jefferson, 8. Aaron, like if you had any fucking Viking starter on your roster, you ate.
Yeah, it was 21-21 going into the fourth quarter. Like this was a very winnable game for us. Like we had what it took. We were there. Kirk wasn't turning the ball over crazy. Like we're doing it. But
He had one early, didn't he? But I was like,
yeah,
even
and
even with
no,
that one early, y'all still it was still like Bijan scored right after that or whatever. It was like the game was still within reach.
he really had two, but a penalty took the second one back. But we had the ball. Next thing you know, Vikings score. Ray muffs the punt or Ruff muffs the kickoff, and it's all hell breaks loose from there. They score 21 unanswered. Sam Darnold throws 5 touchdowns. Motherfucker. And these touchdowns, some of these touchdowns were terrible. Like the one to Justin Jefferson with D. Alford on him. And D. Alford is like literally tracking the ball
But
and he just doesn't know where to put. That was
that's one of
bad.
the worst. I've never. They're like, everybody come watch this. I was like, let me see. Like that was the caption. Like y'all need to see this or so shit. I was like, oh, I thought it was just the hands up there. And I see the fucking and then he just falls. I was like, oh no, like
And
that.
it's not like this is Dallas where the sun is a problem. Like this is Minnesota in a dome.
Film room, bro. That DB coach was on his fucking head top for that one.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. That was bad. But that just was the defense. I mean, I was screaming this is the best secondary in the league, and now it's just showing that we have hella problems, and now we just gave up the one seed. And what at when we were 6-3 and a shoe in for the playoff, now we're fighting for our lives.
Now a game behind. And the only good things y'all are 4-1 in division, which is clear cut the number best team in y'all's division against divisional opponents. So like if y'all end a way and find a way to tie with the Bucks or something at the end of the season, y'all do have that edge.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching this shit so well, but this isn't the time to be playing your worst football. Like we're 0-4. Kirk hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 games, 8 interceptions though. And the Panthers look like they're finally figured their lives out, and we gotta play them boys. And it's a divisional game, and we already won. Like this is not the time to be playing your worst football if you wanted to go to the playoffs.
And then what was the other thing I was gonna say was the Kirk Cousins revenge game angle. He wasn't going crazy, like he had the yards, but he wasn't getting the touchdowns. But I was saying that like, okay, we're straight, we're straight, we're straight. And then that whole revenge game angle when he threw that second interception, I was like, bro, fucking Kirk, you fucked me, bro. This is the Vikings revenge game, not a fucking Kirk revenge game.
Not that, and it just showed like, oh, we made the better pick, we made the better choice, and that's bad because it's not a bad. It wasn't a bad signing until there the stretches in games like this. Like you got to lock in, big homie.
And then Sam Darnold, there now the question mark is how much is he gonna be worth in the offseason? Because like,
Oh, he's getting a bag. He's getting a bag.
yeah,
Somebody stupid. Somebody stupid gonna pay him. You got teams like the Raiders. You got teams. Oh yeah, somebody stupid is gonna pay him. I like the Raiders to draft Shador Sanders and then pay him, or the Saints to pay him.
they said almost every team's gonna be in the market except for the Jets. And I think that I don't know if it's because of Aaron Rodgers or because the Jets don't want to like accept that we were wrong by letting you leave or something like that.
I'm not paying that nigga shit. What? The
Then
Vikings aren't paying him because they got JJ McCarthy, but I'm not paying that. If I find out the Falcons tried to pay that boy, I'd be upset.
then we had the only overtime game of the slate: Dolphins beating the Jets 32-26. This one I knew it was gonna be close because Kyle immediately started texting me in like the third quarter, y'all selling it. And I was like, I didn't tell you to bet on them. I just knew this game was gonna be fucking Jets playing their best ball. Dolphins, I did not feel confident. I was like, bro, the Dolphins are gonna might find a way to dolphin their way into an L here and just completely kill any playoff hope. But I mean, offense looked good. Defense finally making stops towards the end. Jason Sanders hitting the fucking game time field goal from 52 yards out. And then Jonas Smith is taking over in overtime. I don't think Jonas Smith had like more than 10 yards going in overtime. And then like the whole overtime, they just kept there was just nobody on him. I don't know what the fucking Jets were doing on defense, but now whole overtime I don't even know how many fucking like I said he had like less than 10 yards to going into overtime. He ends the game with like what was it? That 44 yards and a touchdown. Like this, and Tua looked good. Tua, the stats show like since coming back from injury, I think it's like 17 or 16 touchdowns and no interceptions. So like Tua's been playing a really good ball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, Paul. Y'all definitely were. It looked like y'all were about to sell. I ain't gonna lie. I was
I,
watching this game. I was watching this game on the red zone, and I was like, every time they showed y'all boys, I'm like, why are they settling for field goal? It's like, score, motherfuckers. Like this man Aaron Rodgers is gonna feel like he's the shit later and try to turn up. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. And if the fucking if the Jets don't give up that fucking not the Jets don't give up. I think this is one of those games where all three phases of the ball matter because your field goal kicker locked in Jason Sanders. He made I don't know how many he made, but it
two
was that
starters.
it was that kick return, like or that punt return. If bruh got the Jets get the touchdown, and then that kick return takes your boys 5 yards in the field goal range. Like all Tua had to do was get one or two completions. Y'all run the ball, kick that motherfucker, take it into OT, and y'all turned up in OT. I saw the touchdown. I was like, fuck, they really could not stop tight end. So that was a good team win. I really thought y'all were gonna sell that thing, but y'all locked in. That was fine.
Yeah, we needed that win. I felt the same way going into the fourth. I was like, bro, this is gonna be a game where we find a way to lose, and then all playoff hopes are dead. And then I got to hear from Jets fans, even though that their season is dead too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But y'all locked in. I'll give y'all that.
And then the Saints beating the Giants and was a
Yeah.
very low scoring game, 14-11. And I mean, at halftime, I thought potentially the Giants were going to win. Neither offense looked good. Drew Lock, I think, not Drew Lock, fucking Graham Gano hits the field goal before going in the second quarter. It's 7-3. And I'm like, if the Giants keep it close, I think the Giants are going to win because the Saints are going to find a way to fuck it up. They don't somehow, some way they stay alive. Derek Carr does, I think, get a season-ending injury, so that doesn't help. Also at the end of this game, but they get the dub.
This I can't remember. Where was this game? Germany? I think when the Giants had played it, this is what this game was giving me the entire way. Like it was just a yucky, sticky, disgusting game. Hated every second of it. But the Giants started to lock in second half, and if Brisby doesn't make probably one of the most athletic field goal blocks that we've seen this season, we've seen a lot more field goal blocks this season than we've had in the past. But that was fucking just I can that was just athleticism. I've never seen special teams bigger guy like a linebacker jump clean over. Didn't use anybody for leverage. Jumps clean over the line to block the field goal. Like I was like, fuck. Like I'm. What do you do about that? You can't even coach against that. Like you just looking like this motherfucker did not. This motherfucker put an extra box on the box jumps this week. He was doing two at the start of the season. Now he's doing four. But he said, "Yo, I'm gonna put one more just in case for some situational shit." And then he's been because that was fuck. Jit had to have jumped like 45 inches in the air. Like Bert was insane.
Yeah, no, that the game sealing block, that shit was fucking. This year alone, I feel like we've seen at least 3 or 4 game-winning blocks. Like four, that's
There's
insane.
the Chiefs, Bears,
Bears,
that one, and then there was one more, I think.
but yeah, that shit. Honestly, this game was disgusting. Neither team should be happy. Rizzler was yelling his fucking punter's head off, like cussing his shit out on the sideline. Not a good look for either team, honestly. And Derek Carr being hurt, I just know New Orleans is down bad now to end out the season.
Nah, but shout out the dumb bitch from the party. I was at a party this weekend, and my new word is yucky because I was at a party this weekend, and it was like the last functions of the semester since the semester ends this week, and it was way too cold, Paul, to go smoke outside. Usually, I'm a courteous dude. Like I smoke in the cut. Like I find me a nice little cut vibe, and I'm not in the middle of the function walk around with a blunt. Like you feel me? I'm in the cut vibe and rolling up doing my thing. But it was way too cold to go outside. So like I might have known a couple of dudes that was part of the organization that was throwing a party, that was throwing a function. And I said, yo, is it straight if we like smoke inside? He told me something. Yeah, just smoke downstairs. I said, no problem. And the bitch comes up to us and says, hey, can you guys smoke outside? It smells yucky.
That's where it came from.
Oh yeah, that's what I do work, kid. I'm like, yeah, bro. Shout out to dumb bitch from the party. And I was like, I knew I was out of my element when the bitch came up to. I was like, you felt comfortable saying that at a function? All right, you got it, niggas. And then niggas proceeded to light up another J like 10 minutes later.
On the low.
Yeah, but I learned. So at the function, go smoke outside because he'd be scaring the hoes.
Then we had Steelers beating up on the Browns, 27-14. Honestly, the Browns kept fucking up every way possible. They
Oh, fact.
missing field goals. Then they throw an interception, lead for an easy touchdown for the Steelers. They go for it on fourth down. They get stopped. Steelers settle for another. The Steelers get another touchdown off of that. It was just a whole bunch of Browns fucking up, and the Steelers, who honestly did not play the best offense, very, very piss poor kind of offense. No George Pickens out there made a huge difference on the passing game, but they just didn't make mistakes. They Kadarius Toney fumbling for the Browns. I didn't even know he was on the Browns until he fumbled that shit. Uh, it was just every way possible that Steelers get short field, either 3 points or seven coming off of it, and that's exactly how this game went. People who were just smarter with the ball won.
I mean, they've been doing that all season. You give them short field, they're gonna capitalize. They're the new Patriots when it comes to that right now. But yeah, the Browns are just yuck. I mean, Jameis doing what he does, throwing it to the other team. You see, I couldn't say that too much last week because of the whole Kirk situation. But Jameis looking like Jameis, and the Steelers just had to play just good enough to fucking win. Fryer move locked in. I think he had one or two touchdowns. Run games has been looking decent all season, just continued. So the offense did just enough, you feel me? And they capitalized on every mistake. I'm just like not impressed crazy by the Steelers team because they have a tough game next week. It was against Philly. So I don't know. When it comes to the playoffs, I don't know if the Steelers team is anything different from the Steelers team we've been seeing in the past, but they have been winning games like they need to.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be a fun team to watch because especially if they get the number one seed over Baltimore and all the games are going through like Pittsburgh on that end of things. That's gonna be kind of because that crowd does make a difference and that defense is
Mm.
really good.
But I don't think they've won a playoff game since before Big Ben's left.
Oh yeah, yeah, because they even had that one season when they won I think like 12 in a row.
They got smacked by the Browns.
Yeah, and they lost like almost every game after that, and then they lose in the first round to the Browns. Like, but that I mean, this team kind of very similar to that. Them and the Vikings are going to be those two teams where like you didn't expect them there. Their defense is kind of partially why they're there. They got recycled quarterback options, um, and but they keep finding ways to win. Them versus the Eagles is going to be a good litmus test. But even then, I don't think anyone in Pittsburgh gives a fuck because they're kind of like we're sitting good, and we didn't expect to be sitting this good.
Nah, I don't know, bro. Pittsburgh, them niggas expect the championship every year.
That's true. But I don't know if you would have asked them if they would have thought they would win a championship this year, let alone well, they got like 10 wins or 11. Is it 10-2?
Bruh, these motherfuckers have a winning season every year, kid. I think they get lit on the seasons where like they have to sneak into the playoffs, like that one year when it was the Chargers versus Raiders when they had to get into the playoffs, and then they if the Chargers and Raiders had tied, they would have both went in or something like that, and it was like this close to a tie. And the Steelers ended up winning the game that they winning their last game they expected to lose and snuck in. Like I think those are the seasons when they're like, oh, I didn't even expect to win. But these seasons where they start off balling, doing their thing, you changed Justin Fields for Russell Wilson. Water's team is 4-2 winning, and they still keep on winning. I really expect them boys. Think them boys expect to at least go to the AFC Championship.
They at least also got the whole team has chip on their shoulder because every ESPN, every analyst saying the same thing, like, oh, come playoff time, they're probably not winning shit. So that's
Yeah.
all also the extra motivation for them.
Yeah, and then throw Totally Blitz podcast, and then they have hosts saying that they might not be shit.
Yeah. Then we had one team, Kev, your Buccaneers, 28-13 over the Raiders. They once were kind of looking back, they weren't nowhere, and then now they're number one in the division. They kind of back to back weeks having easy opponents. Raiders being the Raiders absolutely stink. Aiden O'Connell throws for like 100 yards total in this game. The run game was very mediocre, and then by halftime, the run game they couldn't even use the run game really anymore. Um, I mean, the Bucks get a good win, a much needed win. But other than that, I just know they just took care of business.
Yeah, I mean, you got to respect that. That's what they've done. I mean, we've just played really fucking bad. So that's the reason why these motherfuckers are in the conversation. But yeah, they're doing what they needed to do. They when they fought the hard teams like the Chiefs and the 49ers, they fought them boys balls to the wall, lost. Even when they played us twice, they fought us balls to the wall, lost. And now they're at the part in their schedule where They understand they have to win these games. They have to beat these teams. They fucked up the Giants, beat the Panthers in OT, which until if it wasn't for this
That
week,
was close.
it's if it but if it wasn't for this week and the week before that, like that game is aging a lot better with the way the Panthers were playing the last few games. And then this game, but we're not gonna act like the Bucks were fucking the boys up from the start. I definitely remember this game being slightly like manageable, and the Raiders had a chance if they had a decent. They didn't have a terrible quarterback. Like the Raiders defense held Bucks to 0 points in the third quarter and the second quarter. Like it was that fourth quarter where they kind of busted wide open and just stopped being a ball game.
Yeah, the first half was 14-10, but I want to say all the turnovers came in the first half for the Bucks because they had like two fumbles and two interceptions in the first half, or one fumble and two interceptions. And then off of those turnovers is where the Raiders were scoring their points. But whenever Raiders were getting like full, had getting the kickoff and starting from the 25, it was like three and out, three and out. And then the Bucks would fuck up and let the Raiders kind of sneak in. So it did feel like, oh, the Bucks continue to turn over the ball, and the Raiders keep this close. Who knows? But then comes second half when when the Bucks stop turning the ball over, yeah, they were punting the ball, but that's still not allowing the Raiders to get these easy points on short fields, and that's where I felt like second, because that's where like first half it was competitive, but second half once they limited the turnovers, that's when they just realized, yeah, we're just the better team here. As long as we don't let you get in field position, y'all are not going to get into field goal position.
Max, I mean, Aiden O'Connell got hurt in this game, so it was just like,
Yeah, that was another thing. There, I don't even know who was the third string guy that they put in.
oh, it's your
Oh,
favorite.
yeah, the Desmond experience.
Yeah, the Riddler, the
Yeah,
Riddler.
and he's probably gonna be starting next week. That's the
He, it's funny. I seen a tweet that said, "Yo, Desmond Ritter might be starting the game because we have to play them in like 2 weeks or something like that." And I was like, "No way!" And then when I see Aiden O'Connell go down, I was like, somebody find that tweet."
Then we had the Eagles 22 to the Panthers 16. Panthers have showed that this is why you don't give up on young quarterbacks. Um, they had a ball game. It was very close, very, very close. And a couple what was it, a drop pass or whatever in the fourth quarter.
A drop pass. Oh, I want to say these niggas drove down twice on their ass. Let me check this. Let me check the full play by play.
I know one of them, they were on like the 2 or 3 yard line and they don't go all the way down because some tweet made it sound like they went fucking goal line to goal line. They did get into the red zone, but then they get like a couple penalties and they're back on like the fucking 40 or whatever.
Yeah, I want to say where did they start off? Yeah. They started off at like the three, and it was like, yo, can Bryce Young bring that bitch down? And that's what he did. Like he brought it down, and they had the touchdown. He had Xavier Leggett wide open, and it looked good from the camera angle they had. It looked so good. Paul, it looked like, yo, the Eagles just so. I know everybody is pissed right now, especially on a week when the motherfucker they're right there on the Lions' ass, motherfucker. And the next thing you know, they you see the ref call it a non-catch. We're like, no way, and there's you can't challenge this in the last 2 minutes. So
Yeah,
I'm
we
like, yo, I'm like, yo, bro, where the fuck is this replay? I need this replay right, motherfucking nah. And then you look, and it's like, no fucking way. He just that bitch moved. Like it was in the basket. It moves because he's falling. It moves and touches the floor a little, and then he kind of secures it and then rolls over in the end zone. And it's like, damn, bro, you would have been a hero. Like they would have named streets in Carolina after you if you had caught that ball, dog. But he dropped it, and football doesn't come down to one play. But in critical and key moments, we remember the key plays, and that's the one where it's like you had it.
and the fucking Eagles offense, they won the game, but there's now the Brandon Graham, longtime Eagle, everyone mentions him on defensive line. he even spoke. There is beef between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Like he openly said, like, yeah, they're not even talking right now or something like that. Like fucking and then he even went on to say like because he refers them by their numbers. So he's like number one at least tries to like talk and keep thinking goes number 11 is the one that he could probably do a little bit more. And everyone is like, yeah, wide receivers are divas, blah 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 blah. But like there are key moments where AJ Brown is open or Darius Butler said it better. He was like, there'd be a play call that's like a cover two beater, and you're supposed to go to AJ Brown, and they're in cover two, but then Jalen Hurts instead goes like takes it off himself, or he dumps it off for like a 2 yard gain or an incompletion, and here's AJ Brown who is like streaking down the sideline all by himself. That causes more frustration because it's like, yo, we called this play because they're in cover two. You should be able to read this is a cover two beater, and now that people are now like coming back like, yo, Jalen Hurts reading defenses. This was always an issue, and they're winning games, but AJ Brown clearly right now is not happy. And there's some even in the game there's moments where he's showing frustration like wide receivers do. So it is like it's always some sort of drama in Philly. I feel like
Yeah, dead ass. Because like they was just screaming fire Nick Sirianni like
yeah, because
last
they
time
weren't running
Philadelphia.
the ball, so then they run the ball and win games, and then now we got like a Stephon Diggs situation kind of brewing where it's like, hey, why we're winning. We're fucking number one seed over here on this side.
Yeah, I mean, I think the frustration is granted, and I think in football there's always gonna be frustration. It's a team sport. Like sometimes somebody never you can never like please everyone.
Especially
And
when
the
you have so
way
many playmakers. It's hard to feed everyone when they're all expecting 1,000+ yard seasons, big games, all that.
Yeah, and I think AJ Brown wants to prove that he's the best receiver in the league. And it's shown that he's definitely up there, top five for sure. Maybe top three in a lot of arguments. But you can't feed everybody the ball. It's understood. And I just think it's the games like these where because usually you got Saquon cutting up, doing the fuck whatever the fuck he wants. Jalen rushing breaking in, doing the tush push and all that good shit. So like there are days they don't trip. But it's the days on where it's like, yo, bro, we need to make a play. The offense, the offense is struggling right now. We need to make a play. I'm your playmaker, and more than anything, I'm open, bro. I understand. So it's like half and half because we got to remember early in the season they lost to the Falcons. Like we were talking shit. Like I was over here talking about, yeah, man, he couldn't do shit in our secondary. We got the best secondary in the league. Same secondary that just gave up 5 touchdowns to Sam Darnold. So when he was taking those crazy plays and making major mistakes, that's when the he can't read defenses conversation comes out. So I think he's playing safe, and that doesn't look good when you're not when the game is close, especially when you're about to lose to the Panthers. So it's a half and half. I don't even know how I feel about the
This
frustration. I
this
just feel
was
like
the
it's all over
stat.
thing.
This was the stat where I was like, I'm always like, bro, AJ Brown, y'all winning, be quiet. Like not just AJ Brown, but it's wide receivers in general. But the stat that they hit me with on Pat McAfee show was their this is their fifth game in a row where they have more rushing yards than passing yards. AJ
Damn,
Brown leads the game with 108 passing yards. The week
damn.
before was like 150. Week prior like 115. Like it's just been really low passing yard games. And that when they said that 5 games in a row where you're rushing more than you're passing in this type of this in 2024, like that is kind of like wow. They are winning the games though, so it's like comes with an asterisk, but it's also like I can see why wide receiver, especially someone who thinks he's the best in the league, might be a little upset.
Yeah, and I respect it. I'm not tripping. I just think that they didn't expect their defense to have the playmakers for everybody to play so well, oiled and play so well with the team. Like you got new additions like Cooper DeJean, Quinion Mitchell doing their thing. You got Jalen Carter looking like the best in his position in the league. Brandon Graham still holding it down. Darius Play coming up with game winning interceptions. Like they're doing what needs to get well, maybe not a game winning interception, but they're doing what they need to do. Like I just feel like though they're not leaning crazy on the pass game, and that's understands the frustrations, but it's like we're winning. That's like Travis Kelsey tripping. Like, yo, we're winning Super Bowls, bro. Like,
I'm okay.
just chill, just chill. Like, And I just feel like you just see like a Josh Allen doing his thing and feeding his people at the same time. So it's frustrating, but it's like, we're winning, kid. Like, I just think if it's playoff time and it's time to, and somebody's stuffing around, because I feel like a Bucks team could beat them, the Eagles right now, even though they're one of
They
the
were
best
bringing
teams.
that up. They were like, every quarterback, there's going to be a play, whether it's playoffs or there's a winning game. Where now we're not talking about the game-winning touchdown. We're talking about it's 3rd and 8, and you need to get a first down through the air. And like, Saquon is not a factor in this unless you throw a screen, and then your wide receiver's still pissed. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, this is those win this situation. Why the arguments start to happen.
And I'm not bad at it. It's just like wi- winning is winning is supposed to cure a lot of things.
Not everyone, not every all the time. But next game on the slate, I thought the Saints Giants was the worst game, but then this one, the Jags beating the Titans 10-6. They score all 10 points in the fourth quarter, goes from 6-0 to 10-6. Jags win. This game, the Titans, I felt like, you remember when they lost to the Bears and they were saying like, if we would have just punted the ball every time, we would have won. I felt like they
Yeah,
took that mantra into this game, and it didn't work out for them because the whole like the Jags throw like 2 interceptions in the first half. Didn't capitalize on either one of them. One was towards the end of the half, which I understand, but the first one was like 3 and out right after that. They settle for the field goals. Second half, a whole bunch of 3 and outs. When they do have a good drive, settle for the field goal. Then all of a sudden, the Jaguars take the lead. Now the Titans are like, oh, fuck. Now we can't even settle for a field goal. We got to go for it on 4th down and goal. Very winnable situation. Will Levis doesn't get the job done. No surprise there. But it was just like, I was upset because the Titans are also another team on a lot of my parlays because I was just like, thought y'all should, like, your defense should win this game by itself. And the defense did as much as they could up until the fourth quarter, where the Jags finally get some drives put together. Uh, Tennessee's probably pissed. Doug Peterson's probably the only person that's really happy on this because I know pick wise, the GM and whoever probably wish that they would have lost this game for a better pick.
yeah. I mean, yeah, the Jaguars kind of fucked up because they need Travis Hunter. I feel like they're in the market for Travis Hunter right now. Florida boy, get that boy back to Florida type shit. But yeah, I mean, this game didn't pop up on our red zone too much, so I couldn't tell you how Will Levis sucked. But I can tell you, like, this was the game where the bullshit wasn't. The Will Levis bullshit didn't come through. Like they they haven't been winning games, so people don't notice this Will Levis bullshit. But every week, these motherfuckers have been pulling bullshit. They motherfucking him and the Naeem Westbrook Hines, whatever his name is, have been figuring something out. Every week they've gotten a touchdown, but they couldn't get the touchdown this week. And when they got the turnover on downs in the red zone, you're like, why are they even going for the ball right here? And that happened in the first half, and I want to say it happened in the second half too.
The
No,
second
it
half,
didn't.
they go for it because the field goal they're still down by a point, so they kind of needed to win the game. Because
Yeah, at the
I
Jack
know to
spot.
go for it in the fourth quarter is because it's 10-6, and you can't settle for a field goal right there. I mean, you could
Well,
have.
but yeah, the point I'm getting at is that this is the week that the bullshit. Usually, the bullshit happens in those plays right there. Like it's the why is Will Levis down in the red zone? Why are they scoring? But the Jaguars say, "Yo, we're just not gonna let the Will Levis bullshit happen." And after that, we gonna kill you. And that's what they did. They scored one touchdown, and that's all they needed.
This was the longest game too. I feel like out of all the 1 o'clock games, this one I think ended the last because of how many 3 and outs. Like so many times the ball just stops, incompletions. They had to punt the ball, commercial breaks. I felt like this game was like 4:45 when it was finally over. Like we're good quarter into the 4 o'clock games, and this game was still on.
That's crazy. Yeah, this is bad football. But shout out to Jackson with it.
Then we had the Seahawks dominating the Cardinals. They take out an early lead and it never looked back. I felt like Kyler and them had a very first quick drive. Michael Wilson sets up a nice 41-yard pass from Kyler, and then the whole offense I think just disappeared after that. Seattle, on the other hand, I said this I think once a long time ago, and I haven't resaid it again because the Seahawks have made it clear like Kenneth Walker is the number one running back. Like Shaq Charbonnet he was a Michigan Wolverine. I remember when he played for Michigan, he was like a first or second round pick. He was the best running back coming out of his class. And it didn't really I thought they did it because they always had bad history with running backs after Marshawn. Like Chris Carson was the guy, he gets hurt. Next guy comes in, he gets hurt. Then they go back to Chris Carson because he's back from injury. Then he gets hurt again. And they just kind of couldn't find a running back to Kenneth Walker. And I was like, oh, maybe they're just getting it for like safety reasons, whatever. But they completely shelved Zach Carbonet, even though he was the best back in his draft class. And but when he gets put like he played 2 weeks prior to this, scored touchdowns both those games, phenomenal games. This week, 2 touchdowns, receiving game because he's a great pass catcher coming out of college. So he has like 3-4 catches for like 40 yards. He has the great ground game, running game, and their whole offense has looked really good with him on the field. And I like Zach Charbonnet also carried me in fantasy, put up like 33 points, 2 touchdowns, 134 yards on the ground. And then like Gino, without needing to do anything crazy, just played perfect football. He didn't need to put up 350 yards and 3 touchdowns. He just, I think it was like 24, 30 on passing. He just needed to be accurate, get the ball down the field. Zach Charbonnet's doing the rest.
Yeah, you hit it. You called the game on its head. I mean, the interceptions were bad just because like your defense just got off the field. I feel like both the interceptions. Let me see exactly.
Early. It was a quick interception, I would say.
Yeah, 2 plays for one. The first interception was 2 plays, -9 yards, a minute and 10. The next play, the next intercept, the next thing you know, Seahawks scored a touchdown. What did they do? 2 plays, 1 yard, interception. 41 seconds. 5 plays later, Seahawks scored another touchdown. And I think that's what told them. They told us what type of game this was. The Cardinals seemed like they were going to try to figure out their little magic and their bullshit to kind of stay in the game and be like the little dog that kept on fighting. But nah, just punt after punt. They got a field goal. They missed a field goal. Like this Cardinals team is for the team that was number to have been number one in the NFC West, and there was a stretch of the football that they were playing, making us think they were good. Cardinals team is not that.
Yeah, we're because him Seahawks and Cardinals are both think we're 6-5. Sitting at the top was the Cardinals because they had better division record or whatever. But since then, Seahawks routed off back to back wins, one having to be so it's like I feel like the Seahawks know they haven't clinched it yet, but they're 8-5. Rams are 7-6, and 6-7 are the Cardinals and the 49ers. But I almost feel like at this point, it's kind of separated. It's like either the Seahawks or the Rams, maybe both go to the playoffs, and the Cardinals and the 49ers. Like, I feel like there's been a line of separation of like playoff caliber teams not going to the playoffs.
Yeah, this is when the pretenders and contenders came out, and they showed that they were pretenders.
Yeah, and the Seahawks needed that win. Now they're 8-6, a whole game ahead on the division, and can Loki afford to take an L somewhere. Like now you don't have to win out, have to worry about it. It's like oh,
Mm-mm,
we got a
mm-mm.
little breathing room. We still want to win out, but the breathing room has been made.
They got to win out.
Well, the fucking Rams got a tough schedule, I think, still coming up.
Yeah, but the way we can talk their game next, but the way the Rams played this week, they got to win out because
Yeah,
the
the
Rams
Rams
the
play the
Rams play the
Seahawks
Seahawks. Yeah,
in the season. Yep.
yeah. So it's gonna be what they got to win out, and as long as the Rams are winning, they got to keep winning. If the Rams lose, they can lose, but if they lose once, the Rams are on their ass because they control their own destiny.
Yeah, and right now the who has the better? Oh, their divisional records are about identical too. So yeah,
And I think the Rams got the head to head last time.
I think so too. No, because Stafford throws the intercept. It played shitty. Oh no, yeah, no. The Rams did win in overtime because Gino played shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Then our next game, yeah, we go right into it. The Jets getting the fucking big win. Not Jets, the Rams
Yes.
getting the big win over the Bills and 44-42. There's a couple talking points here. One, Josh Allen, 6 touchdowns, three on the ground, three on the air. Um, Greatest quarterback performance potentially ever in a single game. Fantasy wise, broke all the metrics. And just the back against the wall because like the Rams would score, Josh Allen down by whatever. All right, we're gonna go score, and they kept fucking scoring. Uh, and then the whole tush push on the 1 yard line, it gets stuffed, and that forces the Bills to call the timeout. And I don't know if you were watching, but Tom Brady was
Tom Brady cooked them boys.
he goes, well, it doesn't matter anything. You go score the next fucking play. It's still 3% chance he'll get the onside kick, all because y'all called that timeout. Like, and then other people start pulling up. I think this is the second time in like 2 weeks because the week prior, whatever, it was within a short time frame that Doug McDermott had made a costly time error or timeout error where Doug McDermott kind of shot themselves in the foot in a close game.
It was against the Texans. You remember they almost lost that game?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So they ended up winning that game, but Doug McDermott almost shot themselves in the foot to kind of put the eight ball back.
Mhm. So yeah, I look at this game. Well, they're 10-3. They might have lost that game against the Texans. But this game, first off, game of the year. I
They did
mean,
lose against the Texans.
yeah, so this is yeah, because CJ Stroud got the field goal and they shouldn't even had a chance to have got that because they threw the three. So I'm if you think about it, in that situation, they threw the ball 3 times and you see what happened. But I don't usually watch the games with sound, but my neighbor has been complaining about my music and called the police on me the other day. So the Florida ordinance says that it can't be a continuous disruption throughout the day. So I had to turn my music off. I have to turn my music off after like 2 hours so I could play it again later. So that's some inside shit.
Yeah,
But
that put on a clock.
I was watching this game thinking like, yo, this is the Rams team that I fucking thought was going to be the team that fucking beats the 49ers in the playoffs. Like this is the Rams team that's balling. This is the Rams team whose offense is insane. They gave up a lot of points. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of. But when you're when you have the offense rolling, Matthew Stafford's throwing that bitch, thinking Puka is down there somewhere. Puka toe tapping on the sideline. You got motherfucking Cooper Cup locked in doing what he needs to do to get it done. Huh.
And then
This
special teams, Hunt they block a punt that then Hunter Long takes it to the crib for 22-yard touchdown.
Yeah, so like this was a great game, and like every time I thought that the Bills were going to lock in and win this game or like do whatever they needed to do, the Rams did it. I mean, the Bills started off spotting the boys at crazy points. I can't remember what the score was. It was 24-10, I think.
24-14 at half.
Yeah, 24-14. Like you spotted them 10 points. And then when the Bills scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, you're thinking like, oh fuck, they don't got it in them. The Rams is finna blow this game, and then Matthew Stafford, hook up, they get that touchdown, and that's when I was like, okay, this is a team that can, this is a
Even
team that has the cojones to win.
even prior to that touchdown, it was that same drive on that Puka touchdown. It was 3rd and 9. The Bills bring pressure. Stafford breaks out of pocket and like it's basically 4th and 9. But there was a holding on the Stafford in them. So instead of declining the penalty and it's 4th and 9, they have to kick the field goal. Doug McDermott accepts it. Now it goes to like third and 15 or whatever, get the 5-yard penalty. 3rd and 16. They make a little 10, 11-yard pass. Now it's 4th and 4. So if you don't even accept that, if you don't accept the penalty further back, they kick the field goal. But instead it's 4th and 4, and they decide to go for it. And when they go for it, easy little pass to Puka, who's been wide open basically all fucking day. They get the first down, and at that point I was like, fuck, bro, that too much time's gonna come off the clock, and kind of is what kind of happened. Then Puka scored that touchdown like 2 plays later, and you're saying that like, oh, the Rams are not the Rams, the Bills are toast. And then they go down again. They go down all the way down. They get to the 1 yard line, 3 timeouts. You score a touchdown. You can kick the ball normally, and it's called just have your defense make 3 big stops, waste your timeouts. You get about like 30 seconds left on the clock when you get the ball back. They get stuck. Instead they go for a tush push. They have to use a timeout. Now they have to kick the onside kick no matter what. And like Tom Brady said, now you have a 3% chance of winning this game. Oh, not even winning. There's 3% chance of getting the onside kick back.
Yeah, I mean, so two things were my takeaways from this game. One, I'd be wanting to be so critical of people in situational things, but that's hard to do because football is a tough thing. Like Josh Allen already has 3 rushing touchdowns.
You're on the
So
one
like,
yard line. You think about what's 100% scoring ratio on the 1 yard line. Oh, Josh
yeah,
Allen push, easy.
yeah, like I'm not mad at it. It's just when Tom Brady saw that and started spazzing, that's all that mattered. And I was like, these motherfuckers just scored a touchdown in 3 plays. My bad, T.
I
But
have I have to shout out though the kicker for the Rams, Joshua Carty, because he misses that extra point, and I had Bills plus 2.5. And he misses the extra point, and the Bills go down and score. I'm like, bro, we fucking covered. Like I was sitting there, like it doesn't matter. They kick this extra point. The Bills could go down, score a touchdown. We're down. We're still down by 3. Like my bet's cooked. And then when he misses that bitch, I'm sitting there like, oh, lock in Josh Allen. We got to go score a touchdown. My parlay needs it right now.
that's fine. But yeah, it was a great game. And this game is the reason why, you know how people be mad about the new rules about quarterbacks and all that good shit and defenses is handcuffed and all the stuff like that. But then you see these games like this and you're just like, nah, bro, this is a football I want to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Six
want to see
points,
this.
sign me up.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here all day for this. I'm trying to see defenses get cooked. I'm trying to see them boys get hoed. I'm trying to see pass interferences. I need all
All
that. Don't touch the receiver. Now I want these games where, hey, you scored a touchdown, no problem. I'm scoring a touchdown right back. Oh, y'all scored 2 touchdowns. Hey, I got you. Boom. I'm trying to throw that bitch down. I love to see football like this. Even Thursday when it was 31-34, like you like, yeah, this is football I want to see. I'm trying to see them boys score in the 30s. Fuck these 10-6 games like the Jags and the Titans.
And with this win, I mean, Rams need to win out, like you said. The 7-6. This was probably their toughest opposition by far in their last 4. So, and I think it's like since everyone's been healthy, the offense is averaging like 29 points per game. You know, all the shit's going up, and it looks like old Rams football.
My big thing is this is the time that you play your best football, and the Rams are playing their best football right now.
Then we have 49ers, another team in the division that needed a win, and they got it. They're 6-7 after just basically pummeling the Browns, not Browns, the Bears, 24-0 at halftime. It was a crazy stat going into the third quarter that the Browns have another round. The Bears have more first downs than they do total yards. I want to say they had like 4 first downs, only 3 yards of offense. It
Crazy
was
work.
yeah, insane. The Bears is, I mean, I don't know if it was just that 49ers defense against Caleb Williams. It probably was because the 49ers were not a good pass rushing team because everyone's been saying that their defense isn't as good as it was last year's D line is not creating havoc like it used to. They got fucking 7 sacks on Caleb Williams.
Wow.
And basically, that's what, if you're a 49ers team, this is the game you needed to get, okay, we are like that. You know, you might be thinking like, oh, maybe we're not that good. Maybe we're wrong. But you have this type of game, Kittle getting 150 fucking receiving yards, just destroying shit. The backup running back, Isaac Guerrero or whatever, he gets 2 rushing touchdowns. He does sprain his ankle, so come Thursday night football, they're going to be going in with another running back, Patrick Taylor Jr. Go
Crazy
pick
work.
him up on the fantasy waivers if your team if he's still sitting there because there's no way on a short week they're going to let Guerrero go back out there on a sprained ankle.
Especially playoffs coming. Well, that's not a big deal to them.
But yeah, 38-13. The Bears. It was a tough week if you're a Bears fan.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about this game. I think the 49ers won. I won't sit I but like this was just what you needed to do. The Bears looked abysmal the entire game, at least the entire first half for sure. And y'all
Yeah,
keep winning 49ers. Like there's not much to say
need it.
about this.
Y'all
Yeah.
need it. Bears. We'll see what draft pick y'all get come.
Yeah,
come.
there's nobody else to blame. Y'all just gotta fuck it. The Bears just gotta figure that shit out. Get some, and then come off season, figure out that O line quarterback shit immediately. Because Caleb Williams' the future, I'm okay with that. But you got to figure out how to get the boys to block for him, and then also for him to stop taking so many sacks. Because it's a two-way street.
100%. Moving along, Chiefs finding the Chiefs way to win 19-17 plus 5.5. I think it was at kickoff on the line was to me this free money. I was saying that like this is insane. The Chargers are playing really good football. They're a team that makes tackles. They get the points that they sell for. They're not doing any extra shit. Like they're gonna make this competitive like always. So that was a free money bet. But once again, Chiefs when they need it, Travis Kelsey making a big catch to basically kill the clock. And then a kicker, third string kicker, doesn't fucking matter. They bring him out there, and the doink, but a doink that goes in fucking Chiefs' favor off the backboard. Some people are calling it. Fucking, they get the win, 19-17, game-winning field goal. Who would have thought?
Yeah, man. I mean, Xavier Worthy's catch on that drive was also pretty memorable. But I think that's the essence of these Chiefs wins. Like we want to call it black magic. We want to call it the Chiefs chiefing it out. Like we want to call it whatever we want. But at the end of the day, this is the best third down team I've ever seen. Like I thought I thought the Tom Brady Patriots were really, really good on third down. They had Gronk, they had Aaron Hernandez, they had Wes Welkers, they had the Julian Edelmans. Like they had the solid dudes with that connection to where they could get the ball to them on critical plays. And that's what the Chiefs do. Like third down, they come in and they just get the ball like fourth quarter. They know what they need to do. They figure it out. Shout out the Chargers for getting that last touchdown, making it thinking they could ice the game. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and T doinked that bitch. That shit look like that's people calling it off the backboard. To me, that shit look like double rim on an outdoor court. Like that shit was insane. But every week they're doing something. I think Pat Mahomes has aged at least 5 years because every game he ends the game like this, just like
Yeah,
in the grind. And they control their own destiny. If they keep winning, they get the number one seed. They got a game to breathe. So if they want to rest all their starters in the last week, which I would, they can do that. Like
yeah, no, they.
blow
I
my
will
mind.
say though, I don't. They Andy Reid off a bye, so if they get the first round bye, they're feeling pretty good going into playoffs. But if they don't get that first round bye, and this is how every game's going, it is going to be kind of like we've seen this story with other teams where it's like, hey, y'all keep squeaking in the regular season, and somewhere down the road it bites you.
But like I would see normally that's how that goes. That's how it works. That's how we do it, right? But that's this team isn't that team to be like, yeah, man. Usually this is what happens. Like, hey, man, we're watching. We saw them come back in every Super Bowl they won. We saw them have a whole their first Super Bowl run be down in every game. Like this team just does what they need to do to win. Like when it's time to lock in and they lock in, that's what it is. It's just that then you look back at when they lost to the Bucks, that was the team that said, "Yo, bro, we're not going for that shit. If you don't play your best football, we on your fucking ass. We going for all your holes and all your weaknesses." And those are the times that they get pushed to the pinnacle. Like when they lost to the Bengals, and the Bengals like, "Yeah, we'll shoot it out with you, no problem. Yeah, we'll take it to overtime with you. Y'all can get the ball first, no problem. Just know if you fuck up, we're on your ass." Like those are the games that they lost. Besides for that, they've been flawless.
I just don't. I think they run into a Bills in the postseason right now. This is not the Chiefs they want to be right now.
How many times have we said that?
No, but those other years, the Chiefs were looking better than this come into the season.
How many times have we said that?
I know, but this ain't the same. This ain't the same team as those
Paul,
rosters.
Paul, I'm in the same boat as you. They can't keep getting away with this shit. But how many times? You and me both picked the 49ers for the Super Bowl. Like, and we felt fucking pretty. Like, how many times have we said it? I'm tired of being wrong. You got to show me at this point.
I'm telling you, they're giving me more of the Viking vibes with Kirk Cousins back in the day. That 7-1 on one possession games Vikings.
Hey, man, if they go in that bitch, lose the first game in the playoffs, hey, Paul, you called it. I'm just like, and you wanna know what I'm gonna say? I'm like, finally, they showed me that they can be that there's a fucking there's a formula to fix to beat that because so far nobody's done it.
That's true. Then we got the last game Monday night. This game was pretty close. I mean, not just pretty close. It came all the way down to the last wire, especially with the fucking fuck up. But the Cowboys 20, Bengals 27. Jamar Chase, there's been absolutely scorching defenses. Joe Burrow looked good. Chase Brown finds end zone for another time. But I mean, this was a ball game. Halftime it was 17-10. But like the Cowboys are right there. They're going down the field. They made big stops. They got an interception on Burrow, and they they kept it within. They were in the lead. They kept it like everything right in front of them. And then of course they get the big stop. They're gonna punt it. And when they go to punt it, fucking they block it. You're sitting there as a Cowboys fan, like this is everything we needed. We blocked their fucking punt, and then they muff the fucking recovery. Bengals get it, and fucking they go down and score the touchdown. And then after that, you're sitting there like we're cooked. I mean, at least anyone who probably was a Cowboys fan probably sitting there like we're cooked. Cooper Rush only has like 40, 50 seconds with the to get the go down and get like I think it was a minute maybe a minute to go down and get a game tying drive. No timeouts. Good luck.
Damn, where Evan McPherson at? They got rid of my dog Evan McPherson. I'm looking, it's this dude named Katie York.
I think Evan McPherson got hurt.
Okay. But I think it's crazy looking at who scored these touchdowns because it just hit me that I was watching this on the Simpsons cast. So like Lisa and Ralph and all them boys were scoring. So
Art.
like I did not know who. Now that I just looked down, I was like, damn, I actually did not know who scored a lot of these touchdowns. So, oh man, I think this game was crazy because the Bengals got an interception on
Yeah,
okay, the second
in
drive.
the red zone, like right there, they were knocking on the door.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, they got an interception. Oh, this team is coming to play ball. Like you feel me? And but then I realized that on the strides after that, this team kept getting in the red zone. This team, like the Cowboys had two, three and outs, but besides for that, no, they had so both times the Cowboys had two, three and outs in a row in the first half, and two, three and outs, and then a four and out, one and a one three and out, one four and out in the second half. Like these, besides for those drives, the Cowboys are getting the red zone every chance they got. They're either getting a field goal or getting. I think
Yeah.
they scored one touchdown in the red zone.
I
No,
know
two
Rico
touchdowns in the red
Dowdle. Yeah, I
zone.
would say Rico Dowdle was cutting up the field like fucking back to back 100-yard games.
And I don't say that to gas the Cowboys offense like this was some balling ass offense or nothing like that. It's just the Bengals defense is so bad that even though this game was close and they kept them in the 20, that Joe Burrow can't make mistakes like throw an interception. If he does, there's a good we're looking at this like, yo, there's a good chance that they're about to lose this game.
Yeah,
That shit is crazy.
you put a lot of pressure because they got the ball. They were in the red zone. If they don't kick, if they're gonna kick that field goal, Auburn's gonna make it. But they throw the interception. Okay, cool. They still go all the way down. Brandon Cook scores a touchdown in the second, but then Rico Dowdle. I feel like every run he had was going for at least 4 or 5 yards. There was like never a run that got stopped behind the line. Um, Cooper Rush, yeah, he only ended with like 183, I think. But he looked fucking deep. Like there was points in the game where like he just couldn't miss a pass. Like it was just like damn, like fucking CD cutting up, fucking Brandon Cooks is getting open, Turbin's getting open. The defensive line for the Bengals though, I think is what came in to like clutch it. Other than like the punting situation and the Bengals find a way to score that touchdown to ice the game, but like Cooper Rush was starting to get pressure in the second half. Like Trey Henderson gets his 12 and a half sack on the year. Someone else I think gets a sack was because Trey Henderson literally blows up the line. And like the Cooper Rush went from being super comfortable in the first half and the offense was flowing to like second half, the defensive line was like making a very big, like very big impersonation on the passing offense.
Not dead ass. I mean, the Cowboys cowboyed that shit. Oh man. And I
Really,
think this was in Dallas. Of course, they had to do it at home.
I thought it was in Springfield.
You sure?
I thought it was in Springfield, home of the Simpsons.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know what fucking place this was at. That's crazy. I actually
Yeah,
gotta
you
check.
watched it. That bitch was in Springfield. Fucking Dan Orlovsky, the worst person you could get for the Springfield game.
Oh, he's the one that was doing the commentary?
Him, Mina Kimes, and someone else.
Oh, that's tragic. Why would they do that? But I didn't even watch the ManuCast. Like I was like, nah, I'm locked in. That was a great time. I enjoyed it. And I also like the way that they break it makes football slower for kids. Cause like because it's really hard to watch the receivers route and stuff. So if it's going to Jamar Chase, they're gonna start off at the thing, and then as he does his motion, it's gonna panel over to him, and now you can watch his route and see him catch the ball and cut it up a little bit. So I did like that. It's really the way that they put it together is really dissectable.
And when a big play is about to happen for like a Chase or CD Lamb, they put in Bart or Ralph. So like your focus is now on like, oh, what's Ralph gonna do? So you're gonna watch his whole route. Even like they already knew he's the one getting the ball, gonna go for 30, 40, maybe even a touchdown. But like you're watching and they're throwing the flames on that bitch.
Yeah, my favorite was the was when Chase Brown I guess scored, and it was Lisa Simpson, and they're just showing Lisa just
Huh, huh.
and then they're taking it up on their ass, and they're barely getting the end zone on them. And I was like, oh, that was hard. So I enjoyed it. I liked last year. I didn't watch the Toy Story one a lot last year, but I did watch the one when they did the SpongeBob one on Nickelodeon. But I like these games, these little like animation, these cartoon crossover games. These are cool.
Shit, we're gonna start getting some like anime ones too. That should be good.
That, and then the headliner, the shit that tells you like the random news and stuff like that is hilarious.
Oh yeah, like the fucking Quickie Mart selling illegal NFL games, shit like that.
Fact. They had the fucking aliens doing the fucking
Itchy
placing
and
the ball and
Scratchy
shit.
doing the first down.
Yeah, that shit was fun. That was fun.
No, that was a good time. I enjoy those games, and I like how it's not the only option. Like they give you had three casts. You had the regular Troy Aikman, Joe Buck. Then you had fucking Manning
The
cast,
Manning cast.
and then you had the Simpsons cast. All three separate. Hey, watch it how you want to watch it.
And it starts off on the Manning cast. Like it started off with the Simpsons talking with it was Homer Simpson talking with Peyton Manning, and they're going over his crazy all the crazy shit he's been doing. He does. And I was like, that was fun. I would do anything to be a part of something like that. That was fun.
But that's why they couldn't flex this game out. Was because they're like, nah. The Disney was like, no, we put too. They already made the fucking video for these
Oh
teams.
my God.
Like, yeah,
Oh,
no fucking shot.
bro, that's what happens when you mix Disney. Like Disney said, nah, we got one for you. And took all they had all the stops.
But good thing we ended with that. It's a nice way to end the weekend on a Monday night on The Simpsons. Um, as always, we got to get up out of here. We got more shit to record, more things to talk about. As always, like and subscribe. Thank you for commenting along. I'm Paul Pickle Winham, always joined with Kevin, Water Voice of Void. We broke down